believe I'm going to do that.
I did it right on time.
Hi, guys. Okay, so we don't know what we're doing, to be honest. And kind of. Yeah. Whoa, wait a minute. We're just going to take, don't drop me. Why is it? I'm supposed to be over here.
It's okay. Well, you're under your sign. So.
Well, that's good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see here. How do we see comments? We're just going to take our time and let there are people in here. 5. Hello. Hey, I'm Mary. This is Addie.
I am Addie.
Robot voice. Mm-hmm. I am Addie. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see here. Where are comments? Bear with us as we figure this out. Top chat? Is that it?
I hit that close right there. That says managing moderators thing.
Oh.
Yes, there you go.
Chat. Hello, girls. Hello, sweet minis.
Yep, you're going to have fun reading these days.
Yeah, I know. I gotta wear my readers. Can you guys hear us? Can you hear our microphones?
No,
France.
We're the same person.
Yeah, we are. Very soon. Okay, let us know if you can hear us, guys. Say hello. Maybe they can.
They can. If they would say already. If Sweet Mimi.
Brazil.
Okay.
Sweet Mimi.
She says yes.
Oh, okay. You can hear us. Tracy Chapman.
You got a fast car?
Got a fast car.
If you're not actually Tracy Chapman, I'm sorry if you probably get that joke.
If you are, tell us. You're a fangirl.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna fan.
They're like, we haven't heard that joke before.
Yeah, probably. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, how many people are in here? How's everybody doing? Athens, Georgia. Cool. Hello. Wow. Okay, we got 21 people in here. It's like, I don't know how long to wait before we start answering questions. And guys, too, if you have questions that you didn't, sorry, my pocket's inside out. Questions that you didn't send me. If I'm yelling, I'm sorry. I do that. I talk louder.
Well, they need to hear, so it's okay.
Well,
I probably
nobody ever has a hard time hearing me except for my husband.
What? Yeah, he'll tell you that.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, if you didn't send us questions and okay, what did she say? Oh, she's laughing, Tracy Chapman.
Oh gosh.
If you didn't send us questions, because I got a whole list, I've got like 29 questions from Instagram and mostly YouTube. Go ahead and leave us questions and we'll get to as many as we can. And oh no, I don't know how to speak that. Do you?
I think it looks like Portuguese.
Is it Portuguese?
Because it's not Spanish. I think it's Portuguese.
Because she's got more, she can.
Oh yeah.
A little bit translate.
Well, she says something about your art is beautiful. That's how.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Yep. See, it's Portuguese. Okay. Yeah.
And Sweet Mimi is excited to be here. Yeah, Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really dark on you guys' screens? Because I have a light over there, a natural light over here, but
I think it's fine.
I don't know that we have another choice anyway. Instead of turning that off, so maybe there's not light coming down from the top.
We're not showing them decorating things. So
just us.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
her mugs.
Mugs. So I am Mary. I'm in the U.S. in July. Oh, are you? Be prepared for heat, depending on where you are going to. Oh, you can. Yeah, she can translate in Spanish a little bit, right?
Yes.
Yes. Which is
the
awesome.
gist.
The gist of it. The basic idea. So I'm Mary. I'm Sophisticakes by Mary, and this is Addie, my lovely boss. Hello. So if you guys don't know, I had a business. I'll kind of a little bit of background.
Go for it.
I had a business of my own for 12 years, I think.
Okay.
I think it was 12 years. And I did birthday cakes, mostly kind of concentrated on wedding cakes. And then, long story short, the kids were getting older, got too busy. It was overwhelming. So I decided to try to get it out of the house and then realized that didn't make life any more simple. So then I decided to just kind of shut down my business and try to find a place where I could do what I love to do and not have all the extra stresses. And I started one place, didn't work. But then lovely Addie came along and
lovely, the key word.
Yes. Okay. She's freaking gorgeous.
That's a little stretch, but
no, it's not. And yeah, best case scenario for me.
Oh yeah. I was in the grocery store when
Yeah,
she
go ahead.
texted me. I remember what aisle I was in. I was like, this is Sophisticate's texting me. And she's like, are you looking for an employee? And I was kind of not yes. Yeah, I said yes. And I was like, I'll just figure out how to pay her. I just don't even, I have to
figure
say
that out
yes.
later.
Yeah. I am the type of business owner that builds the net after I jump.
Yeah.
Instead of weaving
more,
it and then jumping.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We're both spontaneous like that. It's like,
exactly.
This is what I want to do. We're going to start it and we'll figure it out as we go. That's how most of my videos actually are.
Oh yeah. Well, you're making up techniques from scratch. So
a lot of the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
You got to like really figure out your technique.
Yeah. And if it's inspired by somebody else, then I have to make it my own and still give credit, guys. You know how I feel about that.
Even though you're experimenting, if you saw the image, give some shout outs.
Tags. Very important. In July, anything I've missed so far? Nope. Okay. So if I know today is Mother's Day in Europe.
Oh,
somewhere in Europe.
It is.
Now, yeah, you're like, it is? Where's my daughter?
Yeah, right.
Where are my flowers?
Yeah. Oh gosh, in Europe. Okay.
Yeah, in Europe. So I know that this will be able to be watched later if people can't come in right now. And it's also daylight savings time, so hopefully that didn't mess anybody up.
Sure.
From Poland?
Poland.
Where's that?
Wow.
Debbie watching from Germany. Hello, Debbie.
International.
Look at me getting really close. I'm glad I put on some makeup today. So, why don't we just go ahead and dive in and start answering some questions?
Yeah.
Okay, I have them all written down here. Let's see. Okay, this one, number 1. I didn't write who this was from because I started doing that in the next one.
It's okay.
How do you multiply recipes, and can you freeze cakes before decorating them? The multiplying part, for me personally, it just came from experience of knowing how much to make just by doing it. Because I have set recipes that I know how much they will make.
One batch of it.
Yeah, how much one batch will make. And then you just kind of figure it out as you go. For me, how about for you? Do you have like a mathematical?
Yeah, I think once you figure out how many pans of what size your one batch makes, then you just, as some weeks I am guessing, most of the time I know, but sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, double it. I think it'll make enough. I mean, because sometimes you want to fill them higher too. Sometimes you don't. But you can refrigerate batter if you have extra. So I would say overshoot if you can. Yeah. Refrigerate it. You can bake it when it's cold. Some people think you can't.
That's something we kind of figured out as we were going.
Yeah, and some of our recipes and some of the ones that Mary brought over too didn't work so well room temperature. So our kitchen is different. Our ovens are different than what she had before. And we would, when we have a convection oven with the fan, and they would sink more than they used to. So we're like, well, let's make them cold and then bake them. And then they worked perfectly. So
can you
yeah. Oh yeah.
You're not
yeah. Just really quick. So if you multiply your batch, some people say it doesn't bake the same, but ours always have. So I know sometimes people change the ratios on some of the leavening, but I've never had to.
Mm-hmm. And that goes to the question of who was it? Okay. I heard your girlfriend and loud and clear, and you kill me. Fancy Cakery. I don't know your first name. She's been following me for a while, and I follow her too. So she's hysterical, guys. Go follow her. She has a YouTube channel too. She asked, please, in the name of all that is holy, give an easy, no fancy ingredient, always perfect vanilla cake recipe, good for standing up to tiered cakes, but also yummy and has the perfect crumb.
It's a lot.
Yes.
But it's there. It exists.
Yes. Yes. I personally have found I like, some people might find this as a cheat, and I found it as, I am not a baker by trade. So I wanted to find good recipes that were sturdy and had all these things. I don't have the chemistry background to develop recipes. I just don't. So I like myself, the WASC recipes. I'm looking at you in the camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. The WASC, WASC, and that's white almond sour cream. They are, what do you call it? Doctored?
Yes.
doctored recipes, and I'm going to be upfront and honest about that. We use a lot of from scratch here too. But for vanilla, I like the Wask vanilla, white almond vanilla. You can take out the almond if you want to, just to make it a vanilla. But it's a very hello South Africa, Lisa. Good question.
Yeah, we'll have to get back.
Yeah,
to
we'll have to get back to that one. So yeah, it's very reliable, and it's more on the dense side, I would say. When you it's got a tighter crumb, but it's really good for wedding cakes, and it stands up perfectly. It does not crumble. It freezes well. It bakes very reliably, and there's a lot added to it. So it's still gourmet. I would call it a gourmet taste and feel to it.
Well, when you say doctored, we should clarify that it starts with the box mix, which people are like, oh, good.
Yeah.
And I used to be like that too. Like, no, there will be no boxes of anything in my kitchen.
And then I came along and
then
insisted.
she came along, and I was like, this is actually really good because the other recipe I was using from scratch dried out way quicker. And we add so many things to it that it's not a box mix anymore. It literally just helps you start with your leavening. So all you have to do is you add more sugar, you add more flour, you add more flavoring, but you don't have to worry about the baking soda or the baking powder.
Yeah, I always used to say it's just a starter. Yeah. It's your base dry ingredients that you add to. And I even tried to find out what those ingredients, the proportions in a box mix to start with the way that they start. Does that make sense? But it's not out there. No, it's just not. And honestly, part of that is probably preservatives, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, you're not eating cake every day of your life.
No.
Unless you're us.
And it's not in every recipe either.
No. So for vanilla, that would be my suggestion. Okay. We should be crossing off what we've answered here. Okay. Go ahead.
We stopped still on the question about can you freeze before decorating? So we'll do that and then we'll move on. Of course you can freeze them. The freezer is your friend.
The freezer is
your friend.
It is.
And the two of us have different decorating
styles,
techniques.
As
far as the process. So between frosting cakes, I just chill. And then make sure that it's all firm before I keep going. Mary will flash freeze. So she doesn't have frozen cake layers, but when she's putting the buttercream on the cake, she does put it in the freezer for a little bit to firm it up and then continue decorating. It's not freezing the whole cake either. It's not going to thaw again or anything. So
that's why I tell them, 10 minutes for your freezer, 20 minutes in the refrigerator.
Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope that helps.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and definitely, that's before decorating. So, yeah. And I find that it makes them moister, honestly. If you're talking about just if you're talking about just freezing your layers before you do any of the decorating.
Absolutely.
Yes, you can. That's a myth. And I've addressed that kind of in some of my shorts and reels and stuff.
Yep. That
to me is a myth. Definitely a myth. You can freeze them. And there's a question that ties into that. I just got this morning from Lolly Cakes on Instagram. Excuse me.
Segue. Good job.
Yes. You didn't see how I did that?
Yes.
Okay. She asked, and thank you for following me on Instagram, Lolly Cakes. I see you. How to freeze a fondant cake, and I think she means management for business. I'm not sure exactly what that means.
Well, we could talk all day.
Yeah. How long you got? It is Sunday. Are you off work? How to freeze a fondant cake. I find freezing the fondant cake absolutely possible. And it can be done. And we have done it. We have frozen decorated cakes even just recently.
Yep.
Somebody couldn't get their cake.
Snowstorm issues.
Yeah. So we froze it for how long?
At least 3 weeks.
Yeah, in the freezer. And
totally decorated, ready to go.
Yeah. Fondant, ruffles, and everything. So, yes, I think the best way to do that is to get it set up in your fridge. Dry fridge. We need to talk about that too, I think. To me, a residential fridge is much better for these kinds of things because commercial tend to be more damp. So a dry setup chilled fondant cake, wrap it with saran wrap, maybe 2 layers. You could even wrap it with foil if you want to after that, but it has to be set up. Otherwise you're going to dent it. And then just freeze it. And then the thawing out process that I like to do is to take it out 2 days before, put it in the refrigerator. And then on the day before, you can take it and put it in if you want to. But if you're not going to, because we don't tend to do that though, do we? We kind of just leave them chilled. So what would you say, 2 days in the fridge, 2 to 3 days in the fridge? Take off your saran wrap and your coverings on it, and then put it in the fridge. 2 to 3 days, and then it'll slowly come down. And then come into room temperature at a party, maybe an hour.
Oh, yeah. Well, a couple hours usually, especially for a smash cake. They want it to be softer for them to smash it. So.
Could you imagine the poor kid?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's happened. No, they can't even get in the yeah, I mean, we leave wedding cakes out how long? They have to be chilled when you transport them, and I'm sure we'll touch on that here too. But
I'm going to write notes and questions.
Yeah, but definitely remember thawing your frozen cake wrapped. It needs to stay wrapped when you put it in the fridge, so it will thaw slowly.
Yes. Do you want to do that one? Because that one's a long one. I don't want to write that one up.
Any suggestions on how to get your groove back and work long hours like one used to after taking a 2-year break? Man,
we didn't have time to think about that. I've never taken a 2-year break. Have you taken a break? A long, substantial break? I would say take your time getting back into it.
If you're a list person, I would make lists. Make a to-do checklist, because it's really, and for me personally, it's easy to get distracted.
No.
Hey, as I'm watching cars go by.
Ditto.
Oh, look at that car.
So, to-do list.
Yeah.
I would say check back on your rules and regulations where you are. Make sure that you're up to your particular laws where you're working.
Well, especially if you're selling.
Yeah.
Just a hobby. It's, obviously different.
Yeah. If you're selling, I would, update yourself on that. Make sure that you're doing things the right way.
I think you can cross off that one.
Yeah, I did. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Number 2. Can you believe it?
Well, we did 4, but we did jump to different things.
We're all over the place. We're like squirrel. Sally Horler asked, my buttercream and cream cheese frosting always has a few, sometimes lots of bubbles, making it hard to get it a smooth finish. Any tips?
Do we have tips?
We have tips. We have tips on tips on tips.
Yeah, I could say something else is inappropriate.
Don't want to get demonetized. First of all, I'd say that our recipe that I do have a video on is how to get no bubbles. No bubbles. Sometimes it still happens, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the best, fewest air bubble recipe that I've ever used. But you have to have a specific size of mixer to do it. And if you don't have that, and you don't have a way, first let me backtrack. If you fill your bowl with your buttercream to the point where it's over your beater, the paddle,
yeah,
then mix it on low speed up to 4. But I would say
not
fast, no, because then you're going to be incorporating more air bubbles. But if your buttercream is over the paddle, then mix it slowly. That will help push out air bubbles. And a more manual way to do it would be just to use your spatula and in a bowl, use it to kind of get those air bubbles out, if this motion helps. Or sometimes if I have a lot of air bubbles, I'll put it in a pipey bag and cut the hole in the tip. And while it's pushing it through, where are you going? When you push it through the piping bag, that'll help force some of those air bubbles out too. So you can, how you hold your bag next to your cake and you spin it and you just go up the cake and then smooth it. You good?
Got technology pill today.
You good?
Yeah.
I thought you said you forgot to take a technology pill.
Allergy
pill. So what's a technology pill?
warm
I need
around
one
here.
of those because I'm technologically
technology pill.
stupid. Okay. I hope that helps. Okay, this looks like one for you. I've done this. A lot of these questions are going to be business oriented, more towards Addie, because I never had a storefront. I did. The next question is about contracts and things like that.
Yeah.
Which I have experience with too, because I had a wedding cake business, but it's been a little while. So Nathan, Caleb, I'm guessing those are two kids' names.
Yeah,
probably.
Mm-hmm.
None of my business. But yes, ask about contracts and how to price for all the extra decorations techniques.
Yes.
Okay, we've talked about how to answer this.
I know, because it's very loaded.
It's very loaded. I have opinions.
You start, yeah.
Your opinions are very similar.
Yeah.
Contracts, definitely do contracts, especially for big events. That could even be a big birthday. You know, if you've got a lot of, not just a tiered cake. People tell you have a contract for everything, but let's be honest, who has time for that? Who has time for
it? And who reads all of that?
And who read? You can even put things in red, and people don't read them all.
Yes.
Yep. So yes, contracts definitely saves your butt. I had a customer once who refused to sign a contract, and I refused to do the order.
Yeah.
And she tried to ruin me on Facebook and say all kinds of nasty things that weren't even true.
Yeah, nice try, lady.
Yeah. Like I ruined her wedding. It was a birthday. It was a birthday cake. Anyway, yeah, I ruined her wedding. So cover yourself with contracts. And for me, I like when it comes to pricing. We have a lot of questions about pricing. So we can probably cover a lot of them.
Are they asking though how to make contracts?
I don't know.
I would
how you price for all the how to make contracts. Yes,
you can contracts and how you price. Quickly, you can find templates, and then you can add your own information, so you're not writing a contract from scratch. But I use Honeybook, which I really like. It is a service I pay for, but it comes with templates for contracts and invoices, email templates, all kinds of things. And in the contracts, I just went in, edited a few things that work specifically for my region, my business, send that out every time. You change some fields, obviously you change their venue, delivery time, the items in their order, and then it just sends out bulk, or it's the template you reuse over and over. Just make sure you edit the details so they're not like, I didn't order a 4-tier cake, I got cupcakes.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. So I would definitely use a contract. I have a certain price limit. If the order is over a certain number or a certain amount of money, it requires a contract. Also, contracts include delivery. So consider that also. When you're showing up and something may happen or something could go wrong, you're covered with the contract that they have already signed. So
and add in acts of God.
Yes. Oh, acts of God.
Because some things are out of our control, weather, things like that, and they can still come back on us.
Oh, yeah. I had to put in things about COVID, too. So, of course, that's the only way to edit. I had to go in and say, like, the acts of God does not, it doesn't cover COVID-19 because we knew, like, people planned events and knew it was here still. So, obviously, that's somewhat blown over, but.
Yeah, let's move on from that.
Please.
Hopefully.
I know.
I'm just writing notes, guys.
Oh, you're fine.
Well,
let's see.
Well, is there a second part to that? Oh, there.
On the contract note as well, my big thing lately is adding in your exclusivity about being a dessert vendor. And if there's already a question about this later, we don't have to answer it again. But
I don't know if there is or not.
But it's been a big thing lately where people are saving money. The economy is crap, right? So when supply costs go up everywhere, people raise their prices. The events people are trying to find ways to get more affordable things. So I have to say no to a lot of people who inquire about just a small cake. They want the really beautiful cake from us, but maybe their vendor will just supply, or their venue will just supply a dessert table. It's in our contract. We are the sole dessert vendor for the things that we make. And nothing worse showing up when you deliver a cake and you spend a lot of time for 2 tiers or something that they think is small and simple, and you deliver it and you go out of your way and you show up and there's a whole spread of other desserts from somebody else. Cupcakes, sheet cakes. Yeah. So make sure
I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Talk about that in the beginning. If they want that, I'm like, okay, it's a birthday cake. You pick it up. figure out it's usually the bride's dad. Bless his soul.
Like
it's tilted and it's squished and I mean, sometimes they're great. They're all confident. They're raring to go. But
we just watch and go.
Consider those things when you're talking with clients and you're having tastings.
Mm-hmm.
So
doing a lot of tastings lately, aren't you?
Yes, it's the season for that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really slow down much when it comes to them booking. And we had a couple months probably. What do you say? Like Christmas time?
Yeah,
where
people are busier.
Down, but yeah, it's picking back up again. That's good because that's business.
Yeah, we'll talk about pricing later because that's going to come up again.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah.
So, okay, cross that off. I'm not sure about what they're asking on this. User BB40E9WY1M is asking, how do you get the geometric cake molds to work with icing? She says she has problems getting them out. Are you talking about I'm not sure if you're talking about silicone molds with like geometric. I'm not sure what she's asking specifically. I don't know that they're on here. So maybe we'll skip past that one. I would say just general. I don't know if this answers it, but if I try to put buttercream in a mold, I freeze it. Mm-hmm. And then take it out once it's frozen and take it out immediately and then put it back in the fridge or the freezer. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure if that answers it. Sorry. Trying. So, Avis Smith, it's asking, share how you transition from home to storefront. There's a lot of questions, a lot of things to answer in this. This one's a loaded one. How much money, selecting a spot, who helped, equipment, marketing, etc. I can answer my end real quickly.
Go for it.
And then this is another one more for you. I transitioned from home. I feel like I need to explain. We're on the Mississippi River. And I live in Davenport, Iowa. We are in Illinois right now. Mm-hmm. She lives in Rock Island. It's right across the river.
So I'm in Illinois.
Yeah, she's in Illinois. And then our bakery is in a small town right outside of Rock Island. Mm-hmm. So Iowa and Illinois have vastly different rules.
Yes.
Iowa is way more cottage bakery friendly.
Relaxed.
Yes.
We'll say.
Yes. So I was able to do that a lot easier. My husband works for this in Illinois. And when I was talking about doing this, he's like, you have no idea how much you're going to have to do to be able to do this. And I found out, nah, not in Iowa. So I transitioned from home bakery in Iowa to renting commercial space in Illinois. Mm-hmm. There was a lot to that I don't honestly remember law-wise. But since I was delivering, I didn't have a storefront. People weren't picking up. I mean, they'd come get their cakes from me there, but they weren't necessarily shopping. Yeah, it was different for me. Mm-hmm. So a lot of my rules were the same, except for the tax on delivery. It depends on which state you're delivering to. You're supposed to claim different tax. So I did that. And like I said earlier, that didn't necessarily lighten my load. So that's when I decided to exit that end of it. So go.
Oh, gosh. Well, everyone's situation would be so different.
Yes.
I had a little bit of fire under my butt, so I had to make moves for personal reasons. And I was a former high school art teacher as well, and I was paying my bills obviously with that career, and then doing cakes at home every night. In Illinois at the time, it was not legal to make wedding cakes or do large event cakes that you would make in your house. So I could sell at the farmer's market, and that was it. But I'm not going to have someone pick up their birthday cake at the farmer's market. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Outdoors in the summer. No. Yeah, that's crazy. So I moved into a commercial kitchen. I started small. I guess the thing I would suggest is just taking small steps, because if a lot of people don't have the capital to throw into a business immediately. If you do, that's awesome. I mean, you can find whatever location you think is best. Preferably with a kitchen,
Yeah.
Because then you got to build that out and do that up to code. And how much money? The question is thousands and thousands of dollars.
I heard once that it's $30,000 to $40,000.
Yeah.
To start up in a space, and that's not including like your equipment, something like that. I don't know. It was a long time ago. It's probably different, but it was like $30,000 to $40,000.
It could. It just depends on what you need to do to the space to get it ready for the equipment, right?
Can you lean in a little bit?
Yeah.
No, this way.
This
There
way.
she is.
The microphone needs to
Get
move
closer
then, right?
to me.
Okay. I know. This is what I deal with. I'm not gonna say I hate it. All right.
You're getting the real us right now.
Right. Wasn't our money. Okay.
Don't do that to your boss.
Oh,
It might not go over so well.
Works for me. So the part of building out a space is, of course, situation by situation. But I started slow. I liked moving that direction. So my first commercial kitchen was a church kitchen. And
thank you, sweet Mimi. That's very kind of you. Sorry, I have to say something.
Oh, you're good.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I started out in that kitchen alone too, but it was commercial. It was licensed. I had the health inspector come in, doing everything legit per my state. And you did have, I shared it in a sense, but, luckily not a lot. I would look into that first. If you want to have something out of your house instead of having to build it out yourself, you save a lot of money. Your overhead's lower. My rent was like $400 a month. That was amazing. Yeah. So does that cover?
Selecting a spot.
Selecting a spot.
This kind of just came to you, didn't it?
Yeah, this is a lot. See here. So this spot opened up. It was a bakery previously. The woman who was leasing the space is the one who put the kitchen in and made it ready to go. Stayed 2 years, had a full-time job as an engineer, decided I don't want to do the bakery anymore. It's a lot of work. So it ended up, I was able to jump in and get this one. Again, saving a lot of money or a lot of time too, because I did not have to build out the kitchen.
Yeah, it was like good to go. Even though it's not huge.
Oh, no.
It works for us.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So, any marketing?
I don't do a lot of paid marketing.
Yeah.
Use your free Instagram and Facebook.
Yes, use what's available to you for free first.
Oh, yeah. And you have to get a routine. If you can post daily, if you can make sure.
Social media.
Yep. You got to have a rhythm. You have to make sure you get the algorithm on your side. That's a whole other, ball game there.
Yeah, it's like for YouTube is my main thing, and I have a lot of subscribers on YouTube. Instagram, half as much. Facebook, I'll post something on there and I'll have like 125 people saw it. So it just, you have to find your, and that was good for when I was trying to build the business. Facebook was awesome. It's just I'm doing things differently now. I'm not trying to personally build business because I'm not personally taking orders. So it depends on what your goal is too.
Well, I think it's your target market is your first thing you have to find. The people that are on Instagram are not our target market. They like looking at our stuff, but they don't order from Instagram. In our situation, that's how it works. Some people, that's where they get all their orders. A lot of photographers I talk to actually say that they get most from Instagram.
Really?
Ours is all Facebook or Google.
Yeah, Facebook was my friend when I was taking orders. And okay. We're looking at the questions. And are they? Do that. Okay, this is one for her, right? For both of us, but I think you have better. She's got more business savvy.
I don't have a business background. I just had to figure it out, people.
And you took some classes, right? Didn't you?
I took some online courses on building a cake business, but not necessarily owning a business in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's still more than I did. So Julie Bram asked, how does one calculate overhead for a home-based bakery?
You want to start?
Well, I say first, okay, do we start with the whole talk on how we both figured prices and all that? Or is that that's overhead? That's different.
That'll be a next question.
That's different. Yeah. Overhead. Honestly, I don't have a good answer because when I did it, my husband does all that stuff. He did the taxes, and I didn't sit down and figure out add-on for overhead.
Okay.
When I figured my prices. I was thinking more just the ingredients, the time it takes, what
Mhm.
people are asking for, that aspect of it. Because I don't know that it added that much onto our overhead at home. I never asked.
Mhm.
So
So
I didn't want to
this is a
know.
good question.
I think I didn't want to know. So this would be maybe a better one for you too.
Yeah. At first I didn't do that either. I thought it didn't matter. I'm in my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say the first thing you do is see how your bills change, because you've got your water bill, of course, your gas and electric. Look at what that was before you started using your home kitchen for that and see how much it increased.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to your tax professional. So if you have an accountant, and see if they can help you calculate what you can deduct by using that space. Also, if you're using it for a business and you're claiming your income, they can figure out the square footage. Like, for example, I have my commercial bakery, but I also do a lot of office work at home in my home office. So I can tell her, this is how large my office is. I use it literally 1 or 2 days a week, so that all of that adds up. Even down, and then the more pricing questions come up, you're going to calculate that in what you should be pricing or how you're adding that in.
So you're going to have to adjust that as you go, as you figure it out, really. I don't think there's really any magical.
There's no one size fits all.
Yeah, for pricing. It's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It is complicated.
But we'll get to it.
We'll get to that, yeah. Okay, so I'm not sure if I understand this question either. Hi.
Well, that you kind of already did. So
did I
read it? Yeah.
Which base is stable and moist for tiered cake? Oh, talking about like flavor. I thought they were asking like what base you put it on, but then the moist word.
Oh yeah.
Threw me. So okay, I think we did already answer that one. All right. What's a good? This is Lynette Rogers. What's a good black airbrush color that won't turn colors? A lot of the black colors want to turn colors. You get your blue-based ones, your green-based ones, your purple-based ones. I think I personally like the what's it called? AmeriColor airbrush.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I kind of like that.
Most true to the color on the bottle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AmeriColor is a good coloring for that. Okay, you guys asked a lot of business questions. Come at me with some decorating questions. I can answer those. Okay. How to choose? Okay, Mesa
Mahi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
4095.
Mesa Mahi. Yeah.
Asked how to choose dowels, which size for which cake size for tiered cakes, and if I can use fresh fruits or fillings without collapsing me cakes. The cakes, I think. I think I typed that wrong. Without collapsing me cakes. Yeah. I personally, we like to use the plastic dowels. Do we have any over here? I don't think I have any over here. The larger plastic dowels.
Very thick plastic, not just the smoothie straws.
Right, right. For tiered cake, for the bottom, I think you do it similarly. I like to do at least 5. I like to use a star cutter and mark in the center of the cake so I can have 5 points. We're on the main road through town. Sorry if you heard that. Yeah. And I like to do the big plastic dowels in a circle. And then I'll use the boba tea straws, the thicker boba tea straws in the interior of those. And I kind of do that throughout the entire thing until I get, like if it's a 3-tier, I'll do that on the bottom. Like if it's a 10-inch or 12-inch on the bottom. We'll say 10. Then the 8-inch, I'll do probably 5 of the boba tea straws and then put the 6-inch on top. That's how I like to do it. And then we like to do a center dowel through the whole thing. Like a sharpened wooden dowel through the whole thing, down the middle. Once it's already stacked, just pound it on down and right in through the base, the drum, so that it's stable that way too.
Oh yeah. If you've traveled with a large cake that's all assembled, you'll know why you want to have a dowel going all the way through into the board.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell my nightmare too.
Yeah,
oh my!
I've even seen one kind of like bounce a little bit.
Oh yeah, I was with you on that one. Wasn't I? Or did that happen?
That was, you were following me, and then I turned around or I stopped. Yeah.
Let's answer this real quick. Hobby Lobby brand is as good as AmeriColors.
Depends on the color.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good.
I like red Hobby Lobby better than anything.
Oh, the airbrush color specifically?
Airbrush.
I don't know. I have not bought the Hobby Lobby ones.
I know, and we don't do a lot of airbrushing, so I don't buy a lot of airbrush colors.
I do for my videos, but not for actual orders. We don't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
And this is a myth. Our orders are not all fondant.
No.
Most of our
them
cakes are
not.
buttercream. I do fondant on the videos because it's more stable and there's a lot more art. You can do a lot with buttercream, but it's just my comfort zone with, the kind of cakes you guys like to see. The abstract modern, that's not typically what we do here in general. Wow. Most of our cakes are buttercream, so I just wanted to clarify that. We do more buttercream than fondant, and fondant can be good, people. Stop hating on fondant.
Just peel it off.
Just peel it off.
I love that I have a platform to finally say
this. Say it. Get it off your chest. Okay.
If you don't want to eat it, just don't eat it. Don't put it in your mouth.
It doesn't have to go there.
No. Peel it off.
There's buttercream or ganache under it.
We're not talking,
sorry if that was
loud. This is not at the people watching right now.
No,
this is just to the masses. I mean, there's a lot of PTSD with my my orders. People are like, are you gonna put fondant on that?
Fondue.
I got
that fondue.
Fonduant one time. Yeah. Anyways, If you take cake orders, you know what I'm talking about. So.
Yes. Yeah. We're not the only ones that feel this way. Just people are afraid to say it. Agreed. Thank you.
I don't want to eat it either. But we have to use it sometimes.
We have customers that actually
they ask for
the marshmallow fondant. That's my preferred, but it takes time to make.
Yes.
So we, don't end up doing that a lot. And I find I like the store-bought too, especially the chocolate. It tastes like Tootsie Rolls. Oh, you don't like it.
I don't like the smell of it.
I like it. I might have had a little bit.
Fake chocolate smells anyways.
Well, that's because Tootsie Roll doesn't taste like chocolate at all to me, but I like Tootsie Rolls. I also like black licorice, so,
Her opinion is just kidding.
Good. It's good.
You like sassafras. No, that's
sassafras.
Refuse sassafras. Never mind.
Oh, give me attitude. You don't even know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we did, the fruit filling.
Oh, yes.
My opinion on that is stick with like a homemade raspberry or a homemade, doesn't even have to be homemade. Like the jams, the jellies, things like that. Because fresh fruit won't last long. And
it has liquid in it.
It has liquid in it. Yeah, it's going to. That's what it does.
And then you go.
Yeah. If you're not making a cake the day of.
Yes.
That they're picking it up, don't do it.
And
personally, in my opinion.
Damn it in.
Put even the jellies and the jams.
Oh, yeah.
Put a base layer of buttercream underneath it so it doesn't seep into the layer below it as much. I mean, gravity is going to pull it down more than it's going to go. It's going to go up a little bit, but down is more. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. You'd leave those for toppings. Like a semi-naked cake with fruit on it.
Oh, yeah.
Leave it for something like that. But not like wedding cakes specifically or anything that's going to take you a couple of days to do.
Yeah, I would agree.
What she said.
My brain just went somewhere else.
It did. You good? Mm-hmm. We're wearing her out. A lot of thinking this early on a Sunday.
Oh, this is my day off, people.
Oh, everybody say thank you.
Oh, no, that's so good.
Okay. You just.
She flirts and hits me.
I'm confused.
The real Mary.
Yeah. I'm straight as straight and beauty. I promise.
Yep.
But if I weren't, no, just kidding.
Oh my God.
Let me make you uncomfortable.
No, it doesn't really make me uncomfortable.
Okay, Missy Dagonia.
Sure.
Hi,
Missy.
I need help with getting my cakes to be smooth and clean.
For buttercream?
Buttercream, I'm guessing.
Start with the air bubble thing first.
Yep.
Air bubbles out.
And chilling in between layers. Do thinner layers of buttercream. Do more layers than one big layer that you can never get smooth. Because as it's chilled in between layers, you have a firmer foundation for your next layer. Yeah, and I would use, if you have a problem with it, a metal scraper dipped in hot water might help. Or even sometimes I'll use, I don't necessarily always show this because it's a lot of footage. You don't need to see me torching my metal scraper, but I'll use like a blowtorch, creme brulee torch,
Kitchen torch.
kitchen torch.
Yeah.
Keep it small.
Uh-huh.
I'll do that a lot. So keeping your metal scrapers warm, I think helps. Or you guys ask me this a lot too on my videos. What am I spraying on the cake? It's just water.
Mm-hmm.
Just water helps me smooth it too. And because I like to use the plastic ones when the buttercream is smooth enough. To begin with. So
no, I learn everything from her. So
shut up.
Yep.
Shut up. You got a business too.
I've learned a lot. I literally did learn a lot.
I've learned from you too. Because guys, I didn't do the abstract modern cakes until she made me.
Oh, whatever.
No, I didn't. I was more into like the roughly pleated. I still do some of those too. But yeah, the abstract, the painting.
Oh. I don't know how I influenced that, but
well, because you had an order and I had to do it.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Someone's paying us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what started that. I don't think I've missed any questions.
There you go.
Are you? Oh, yes. Okay.
Ramila girl.
You're going to have to do that because I'm doing really bad at that. Are you going to start any kind of classes like for 1 week or some days for those who want to learn the new techniques and trends? Also, is there any other way to send you what kind of cake decorating tutorial we would like to see? Let's start with that last part. Instagram. If you guys have pictures, they are, well, yeah, the piping.
Yeah, the vintage hearts, the vintage piping.
We've done quite a few of those. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't even something I necessarily did before either. Because I started doing cakes.
Kind of after that.
Yeah. How many years ago now? 16 years ago is when I started charging for cakes. And it was a totally different ballgame then. Totally different then. But I've adapted as things go. So, yeah, if you have ideas and things like that, and some people have done it, and I get to them when I can. If I can, it depends. If you guys have ideas of what you would like to see, please send them to me on Instagram. You can't send pictures on YouTube. So Instagram, same name, Sophisticakes by Mary. But then I also was going to ask about that because the whole class thing, I know I have teased in the past that I had things coming and I haven't gotten to it yet. Look at her face. And the main reason for that is because I was going through some health issues. And ads will run shortly for some viewers.
It's done that already.
Has it?
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm new to this. So yes, I would really like to do classes. But with my health issues, I was kind of shy to start because I didn't want to start something I can't keep going. At first, I was thinking, because I have this space here that I leased from Addie, and she's gracious enough to have told me that I can use it to do classes. But I'm kind of at an age now where I'm wanting to condense more, not add a whole lot. So my thoughts right now is I would like to start doing like live or pre-recorded classes that you can purchase online. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. That might take me a little while because in order to do that, I'm going to have to upload less often. Because I do my videos, I record 2 days a week for 2 videos a week. But if I'm going to do that, I'm going to have to take one of those days away from recording and work on those other things. So I'm in the process of figuring that out. I really want to do that. So yeah, if you have ideas of what kind of classes you would like to see, could be anything really. I'm open to all suggestions, even the basics. Please let me know, and I will take all of that into very serious consideration because I want to do that. So that's the answer for that. That would be great. Okay. Yeah, I would really like to do that.
Don't worry, I'll keep motivating her in that
direction. She is. She's really encouraging me to do that. So there's just a lot I need to research, and I've started that. Basically, who's that?
My child.
Oh. I don't recognize that truck.
Yeah.
So I started the research on that. I just had to find the time to do that. And I have a really hard time only uploading once a week. It scares me, and it's just my routine for 2 reasons. I'm used to doing it 2 times a week because that's my outlet, but also it's taking away income. Because let's be honest, I do get paid a little bit for doing this, and scares me to not get the money.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's something that I wanted to bring up anyway. So that question definitely helped with that. If it gets a little crazy, her daughter's coming.
Yeah, I'll let you answer. I'll tell
Okay.
her what's going on. I'll be back.
Okay, Holly Honor asks, I would like to know how, let me turn this, how to make buttercream frosting. Again, there is a video I already have uploaded that shows you all of the entire process. So, I will try to link in the comments. Hi. How to get to that video. So yeah, that's already been done. And that would be something that I could possibly do a live on also. That was one of the ones that I was thinking of doing a live. You guys get your mixer. I'd send you, there'd be a list of, I'm not sure how to do this yet, but there'd be a list of all the ingredients, everything you need. And we'd have a setup time that we could all sit down and do it at the same time together. Another thing about that too, it would have to be a Monday or Tuesday. And I know that during the day, so that could be a complication for classes also, because I want to get my weekends back. And I don't want to be doing, it's time for me to get weekends. Oh, is it raining in the UK? I went to London and a year ago, January, and it is rainy, but I loved it. It was beautiful. But welcome. Okay, so that's that. I will try to remember. If I forget, send me a message, guys, for that link. I'm gonna have to go back after this live and add that for you guys. How do you know how much buttercream to make for a cake? We make it in bulk. And what we don't use, we can refrigerate or freeze. It does thaw out well. That's the same recipe. It might create more air bubbles, but you could just go ahead and put it back in your mixer after it's thawed out, as long as it's above your beater, and get those air bubbles out again. I do have a lot of content on YouTube, so that's why I want to go ahead and try to link that so you don't have to go through all of the videos. But when it comes to how much buttercream to make for a cake, since ours is volume sensitive, you have to get it to that certain level in the bowl. You can make like half a batch, but it's not going to turn out the same. I am not straight on here. It's not going to turn out the same. And I think that's another thing that just comes with experience and just doing it. I did get really good when I first started doing this. The trend was all the cupcakes, and people are still, come on in. People are still doing that. And I got real good at figuring out how much buttercream to put in the bag and how much to make to have just enough and not a ton left over. But that is another thing. It just kind of comes with experience, unfortunately. A lot of things in this just come with experience, and there's no big set, baseline. So hopefully that is an okay answer. I'm going to save this one for when Addie's back. This is about pricing. Okay. Is she all settled?
I think so.
Hi, Rosalind. Hi.
My baby.
She can be on camera if she wants to.
Oh, yeah. You want to come say hi?
You want to come say hi? Yeah. Live on YouTube? For the 10 people that are watching right now?
Oh, but they're the lovely 10 people.
Yes, they're lovely 10 people. Come over. She's so pretty. Here's Rosalind. Everybody say hi, Rosalind.
Hi, Rosalind.
No, not you. You're not everybody in that.
If you've ever seen my logo for my business, she's the face on
Yes.
the logo.
Yes, she's the face. The face. Doesn't she look like her mom? Yes, definitely. Yep. Hi, Rosalind. So if you guys have any questions for a 9-year-old, right? A 9-year-old whose mother is in the baking business, she's the one for you. She said, hi, sweetie. 3 people. I'll let you know if they have any questions, okay? Okay. Thank you for visiting and checking into our TED Talk.
Yeah, right? Okay. Shoot.
Okay. So you want to tackle this one now?
Sure.
This is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the biggest question, I think.
Yep.
Okay. Here we are. We're not sitting miles apart.
I'm preparing myself.
Yes. There we go. And don't start leaning that way. No,
I
okay,
am
that
coming
way.
This way.
No. Earlier you were
I know.
leaning down. You're like
Well,
disappearing off.
I'm on a tall stool and I'm tall and I don't want to be like this.
Well, that's true. You just see your mouth.
Yeah, right.
Let me see your mouth.
We won't tell you that story.
Inside story. Has to do with COVID times. That's all we're gonna
Mary's
say.
creepy. That's all it is.
I mean it the way it sounded.
Yeah.
Oh, Sweet Mimi says she's so pretty.
Oh,
She is.
my work's so beautiful.
She's super beautiful. Okay, how do you price your cakes, whether it be a wedding or birthday or regular cake?
Mm-hmm.
Can fondant flowers be used with a buttercream cake? Let me tackle that one real quick.
Yes.
Yes, you can put fondant flowers on a buttercream cake. It's just fine. Just fine. I do it all the time. Just attach it with a little bit of buttercream behind it.
I mean, are they worried that they're going to melt or warp? Is that what it is? They got to be dried first before.
Yeah,
you
they
put
got to be
them
dry
on.
first, but I've never had a problem with that.
Some Tylose powder.
Yep, add some Tylose into your fondant, and you should be good. Okay, pricing.
How do you price your cakes? With it? I'm going to start by saying, please price them the same. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of event you are. What? Oh my gosh! Can you wait, please?
Yes.
Doesn't matter what kind of event you're doing. It is a very common misconception that your birthday cake should cost less than a wedding cake. And as we know, there are plenty
She's doing it again.
of birthday cakes that may take you even longer than a wedding cake does. And then you have people that come to a wedding cake tasting and say that, oh, wow, I'm sure that this is so expensive because it's going to be a wedding. And you're like, nope. It is the same supplies, the same overhead, the same space, the same payroll. Yep, there are going to be things that take longer for a birthday cake. So those could be even more expensive.
Actually, yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, they take longer sometimes.
Of course, when you are doing a larger wedding, the number of people you're feeding makes a bigger cake. So yeah, that by default does make it more
Yeah,
money
you're serving
too.
more people.
Make
Because
it
people
bigger.
they think, well, we don't hear the word wedding and add to it.
No, we don't.
You're adding, when it's a wedding, you're adding more servings.
Yes.
So your price is going to go up.
Yep.
Because there's more cake, period.
Mm-hmm.
And if your price is based on serving size and then add, how many servings, and whether it be weddings or birthdays, special occasions, then the addition is the number of servings and the details,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
I interrupted you?
No, you're good. You're good. It's just just because we hear the word wedding does not mean it's more expensive.
I hate that.
That is.
Oh, that infuriates me.
Yes. We've even heard from not any wedding planners here in this area, but some that she's come across online that have said things like, well, make sure you tell your baker that it's not a wedding and then it'll be a cheaper cake.
No.
Nope. Sorry.
If anything, people undercharge for weddings when they should be charging more for birthdays and
Right.
other special occasions.
Right. So as far as pricing the cake, should we talk about now a formula for it, or is that a different question?
Well, we have, because like I said before, right, we said we both had two different businesses to
Mhm.
begin with. So it's kind of the same idea, but two different sources. I went by the Crazy Cool Cakes. They have a YouTube channel. I don't know if they operate or upload anymore, but they're still online and they start with a K, Crazy Cool Cakes. They have a whole formula. Let me write down this question boxes. They have a whole formula that starts with basically, what do you want to, I would refer you to watch their videos. It's very detailed, but it made a lot of sense.
Mhm.
What do you think you're worth? What do you want to be charged per hour? Kind of start with that, and then your ingredients down to a teaspoon of salt, how much that costs you.
Mhm.
You add all and you start with okay, I'm trying to remember because it's been a while. An 8-inch cake. How much flour, how much sugar, how much everything, break it down to how much each slice would cost. Then there's a whole chart, let's say, and it's specific, you can curtail it to what you do. At the time I was doing 3D figurines, fondant ruffles, bows,
Mhm.
things that people ask you the most for. And then so you have your base price per slice. And then if they add this, it adds this amount of cents per slice. If you
Mhm.
add this, it adds this amount of percents, dollars, whatever, per slice. And you figure out what those costs are to you and what you think they are worth, really.
Mm-hmm.
But be reasonable. Also charge according to your, I mean, you can't charge premium prices if you just started, honestly, because your work, you haven't built up that repertoire and that experience and perfected everything yet. You know what I mean? You can't, if you're going to charge premium prices, it needs to be a premium product. She has thoughts. I can tell.
Yeah.
She's breathing.
It's okay. Inhale first. So I would look at, if you're going to pay yourself so much per hour and you're trying to make this a livable wage, then if that's how you have to price it, then make yourself a livable wage per hour. I mean, if people pay it, they pay it.
Right.
I mean,
one of the things they say is not everybody is your customer.
Right. What is the minimum wage in your state currently?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to make more than that? Probably.
Yeah.
Depends on, in Illinois, it's going to go up to $15 an hour. And then in Iowa, right across the river, it's still at like 7 something an hour.
I don't know.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. So, anyways.
And who was your inspiration for your pricing? You were telling me before.
So I got a pricing course online from Kara's Couture Cakes. Kara with a K. I don't know if she still does those classes though, because I know she moved into some other creative fields. Yeah, she was making handmade things that weren't edible at some point too. So you could still look and see if she has those. Also, there's a woman that you guys probably know too. Her name is Minette Rushing, and she's down south. She's got a lot of experience, a lot of online resources for pricing, and she's talking about the same things that Mary does, where you can go in with basically a piece of paper that breaks down every single ingredient and supply, and you price out how much that would cost. So when I did it, I don't actually price by serving anymore. I used to. Nope. I don't
even know this.
Because nobody knows we don't know how they're going to cut the cake. We don't know how many pieces they're going to get out of it. They always want to know, how much will this feed? I say usually, this will do at least this many, because you could have a 2-layer cake, a 3-layer cake, or more. Your cakes are all going to be different sizes. So yeah, you can figure out how many it feeds roughly. But if you start pricing by that, then it just kind of throws things off. I found out that when I started doing that, I was undercharging a lot. Because I was like, well, I'm worried they may not get 25 pieces. So let's price for 15. And then of course the cake's cheaper because it has less servings in your head. Anyways, so I digress. I now price with the minimum cake price in mind and then add from there. So my minimum a few years ago was a 6-inch 3-layer cake for $55. And that was minimum. Mm-hmm. I knew that at the time, for my supplies and my overhead, I needed to make at least that much money minimum to be able to make sure the cake has a little bit of profit.
We're here to make money.
Yeah. It's not a crazy amount, obviously, but you get some. So that would cover what you needed. And when I started in my house, that was like, that price to me was appalling. I was like, who's going to pay $55 for a cake? Because I had the mindset that some of the public does too.
Go away.
Just taps.
Okay. Oh, okay. I tried that earlier and it didn't work.
You're deleting their message.
Oh, sorry.
She didn't mean to do that.
I didn't mean to do that.
I think she did
Your
that
answer
before.
is yes. It will be up later to watch. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. I think, not personal. She just.
I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry.
So yeah, if you figure out what your cost is when you break it down for your minimum price and then add from there, you know how much your flowers are going to, how much your flowers cost, how much, guess how much labor you're going to have in for certain sculpting techniques and things like that. Yeah, some things will take longer than you think, but you have to start figuring out what that starting time is as well. And how much you're going to pay yourself for that per hour. So look into those resources. Mary could probably put could you put on the video like a caption?
Well, I can add a link in the
add some links in
the comments.
Because it's not
pages.
A one size fits all. Everyone's going to charge something different, but you have to figure out what your personal cost is, not what someone else is doing.
Is fondant more than buttercream?
It is, because you're adding fondant onto buttercream. Buttercream we put down first, and if you have to add something else, takes more time, more supplies.
Yep. It's really pretty simple.
Yeah.
But people
Yeah.
are scared to charge what they're worth
Mm-hmm.
because it's pounded into our heads that we charge too much. It's just a cake,
Yep.
yada, yada, yada. It's not just a cake to us.
Yeah.
If it isn't just a cake to you, then you don't want a custom cake.
Yeah.
You go to your local grocery store. That's fine.
Mhm.
That's what that's there for. But if you want a custom cake, high end,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to cost more money. I don't care if you're just eating it. It's not going to be there forever. We
Mhm.
took the time to make it.
Yep.
We put our hearts and souls into it and our experience into it. So yeah, it's going to cost.
It is a luxury item.
Luxury. That's the word I was looking for. And
Because people don't need cake. They are
They-
ordering it because
yes.
they want it.
yes. So
Yeah.
anywho, yeah, there's a hot button topic
Yes.
for us cakers.
It's all about whether or not it's valued. You need to value your work and your time. If
Mhm.
they don't value it, then they don't pay.
I mean, my
That's
husband,
not
for
making-
instance, lovely man, he doesn't value desserts. So
Yeah.
even though I do it, he wouldn't pay what we have to charge.
Mm-hmm.
So lucky for him, he doesn't have to, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's okay. Not everybody's your customer.
Cross off 15 there.
Okay. Now, where did you learn decorating, or at least the basics? Because you do things that I'm just reading the whole things. Because you do things that are so unique to you and so artistic. Wow, I have a hard time typing and reading apparently. I honestly, this is a funny story. I'm a Wilton trained decorator.
Oh, Wilton.
Yeah, I did do the basic Wilton classes at the beginning to learn. I thought, well, I'm gonna have to learn like buttercream flowers and all that stuff, and I did learn those. And I started learning gum paste flowers. But what happened was once I got further into the classes, I was the only one signed up, so they would cancel the class.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned a lot on YouTube. Honestly, that's probably why I'm partial to this platform, because you wouldn't pay peanuts for Picassos.
So what do you expect to pay peanuts for cake art? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Don't even get us going.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, I started there, and then YouTube kind of taught me all the other stuff. So I'm very partial to YouTube. Oh, that's your own leg. I'm like, what are you doing?
Sorry.
Yeah, and then other things just kind of came as I went. I just kind of learned as I go. It's like it builds. You know, you go on your base knowledge, and you build techniques as you go. And a lot of what I do in my videos, it's the first time I've done it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to take chances and try new things.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I have a fine art background. I don't have a cake background, right?
Mhm.
So I took high school and college art classes, and then literally had to figure out how to make them edible.
Yeah, she does a lot of painting stuff. That
Yeah.
scares the crap out of me.
But to me, that, you know, all of the time I put into all of that is kind of like a muscle memory too. So I was also a ceramics teacher, so I have the 3D background on that too. But it is harder when you're figuring out how to make it edible, or how will it stand up during transportation, or can it be you know, room temperature for this long or whatnot. So that was a learning curve. I took online classes. I'm not, you know, I don't ever say that I'm self-taught, because everybody learns from somebody. And whether it was YouTube or it's Mary or something too. And you basically just do it enough times to figure out if it worked or not.
Yeah.
And then, you know, next time not to do that again.
Yep. And
So-
I have a hair background. I did hair
Mhm.
before. So we both
Yep.
started off in the creative
Mm-hmm.
fields. So yeah. Okay. I don't know if we have an answer for this one. Serendipity 7. How many cakes do you make in each week, and how many would you need to keep a business running? Any tips on the time management in the cake business and cake decorating?
Man, that's a lot.
Yeah. Pick one. Start there. Bye, Patty.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
How many cakes do you make each week? Of course,
It's
wedding
fluid.
season is stacked. The winter, January, February around here is really slow. So we could have anywhere from, like 20 to 25 custom orders, but that could mean anything from a tiered wedding cake to a 6-inch smash cake.
And it's not just her and I, too.
Right. Or just a dozen cupcakes or something. Yeah. So we have 3 part-time. So obviously I manage and run the business, but then we have 3 additional part-time that help with baking and decorating. And we, there's no easy answer. I try to figure out how much we can manage.
Yeah, it's week to week.
I have to say no to some people when I think we can't take it on. And sometimes I will say yes because I think we can.
And I got to give her credit, too, because where I worked before here, I won't say any names, but in between the home business and here, the mindset from a non-baking background was take every order.
Well, and
forego
business for it.
Yeah. Forego the details for the volume. That's not how I can't function that way. I can't do that. She knows the fine line of how to book it so that we have time to do our best work, but still make profit.
I don't always get it right every time, but I try.
She tries. She at least tries. And I think it's because she comes from that background of fine arts and knowing
how long things take. Yep. And so how many do you need to keep a business running? Of course, that depends on your business. Are you alone? Are you trying to support yourself as an income, a sole income? You've got to do the numbers. You got to figure out, I had to break down what bills I had. So when I was still teaching, obviously I had money coming in. And when I quit teaching, I had to make a chart. This is how much my expenses are. And I have to make this much each month to make my bills, but then also pay for the business. So it's numbers. People hate it. People don't really want to do it.
Yeah, I didn't want to know my numbers. That was part of the reason that I stopped doing it too. Because my friend Mark, who is an accountant, said, "How much are you making each week?" I'm like, "I don't want to know."
Making dreams come true.
I'm making dreams come true. Yeah, I didn't want to know because I was afraid if I knew how little I was actually bringing in, I would find out it's not worth it. And I still tried for a while. And it's not that it wasn't worth it. It was just the time involved in doing it all myself was not worth it anymore because my kids were getting older and, there's so many other factors in it. I'm just trying to read.
She says, Cindy Michael says, "I love you guys. Your cakes are amazing. You're my number one go-to."
Oh, thank you. Well, a lot of the cakes I do are orders that she's taken too, like 4 actual orders. But when I can include those, I do.
Someone says, "Hi, Rosalind." So cute.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
I think we can go to the next question.
Because honestly, I don't know what we're gonna get to all of these.
Yeah, we're trying not to get too detailed, but it's so hard because there's a loaded.
Yeah, and people want to know opinions on it, and too much stress. Yeah, it can be very stressful. Okay, this one cracked me up because you know how I feel about this. Sally Horler again. When I decorated cakes, my hands get covered in buttercream quite a bit, and I'm constantly washing my hands. This doesn't seem to happen to you, or does it? And get edited out.
Oh,
I hate it. I hate it. It's a sensory thing. Yes, she can tell when I've had too much overload of buttercream on my hands because I put gloves on. But yes, I get I hate it. So yeah, I do edit it out a lot. Because that's another reason why I always say with gloves, can we just wash our hands? Because I'm washing my hands constantly.
Soap and water. Constantly
washing my hands because they're always got something on them. So wearing gloves is kind of a false sense of security to me. Because if you're not feeling it on your hands, you don't know you're not reminding yourself to wash your hands. So you're touching things and your gloves are not sterile.
Yes.
Once they've touched things. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic.
It's like the person in the drive-through lane grabs your debit card. And then grabs someone else's.
Are they you have to change your gloves after each time you touch something to be completely sterile.
Yep.
So just wash your dang hands. And stop calling people out when they're not wearing gloves. Sorry, it's a hot button topic.
It's not you guys.
It's not you guys. I'm venting. That's usually an Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just thought that one was funny. That and the fancy cakery one. Crack me up because I can just hear her saying that. She's funny, guys. Seriously, check her out. Fancy cakery. She just tells it how it is. Okay. How to transport a wedding cake. How to make it stable for whatever the temp. What is the mixture to use on stencils? Okay, we'll start with How to transport a wedding cake. We do it differently a little bit.
Yeah.
I had a really bad experience where a cake fell over in my car. And it was
nightmare situation.
Oh my God, it was horrible. And it was room temperature. It all worked out. They had less cake than they wanted, but it worked out. I was honest. I called them, told them we salvaged what we could. Anyway. Ooh.
Yeah.
So I do not like to transport things that aren't chilled. Maybe a 1 tier, maybe 2. If it's chilled beforehand and it's not far away. But I have made boxes, insulated boxes, that I can put dry ice in, because dry ice is not going to make your cake sweat. It's going to actually, unless it gets too cold and it starts coming to room temperature again.
Frosty looking.
A little bit. But dry ice. Insulated boxes.
This is my listening face. She's making fun of me.
Pick a different one.
Try this.
No, that's kind of creepy.
What's better?
That's like a glamour shots one. Oh my God, so funny.
Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, I like to deliver in an insulated box with dry ice. And I did do a video. I just flicked my own hair and it touched me and it freaked me out. Okay, I did do a video on a delivery once. Maybe I'll, add a link in for that too. But this girl has, she don't care.
Oh,
she will pick up. I also don't deliver. I can't deliver.
Different.
Yeah, I can't deliver a 3, 4 wet. Yeah, well, you're also like could be my daughter. I'm not gonna lift like a 3 to 4 tier cake. So I assemble chilled tiers to the venue and then transfer them on. Where she will just I'll go to cake and I'm going to take it places.
Sound I make, but
you don't sound like that either. But she's not afraid.
Everybody does it different.
Yeah, she's not afraid. It's chilled,
of course,
but not.
It has to be cold. It has to be. Yeah. So I do want to use the dry ice also when it's summertime, when it's hot outside. I don't have a refrigerated van or something. I have an SUV that has a large, trunk area. If the cake,
it's awesome.
Daughter loves it. It's like a boat.
And I just downgraded to a Nissan Kicks.
Yeah. So she did that just so she can't take big cakes.
Well, no, it was time to trade in my van.
I just gotta give her crap. So
it worked though.
It's okay. I still love her.
I digress.
I know. So if it's not warm outside, I will just put the cake in the back of my car on a non-slip mat.
Oh yeah, that too.
If there's not a box necessary to keep it chilled or anything, it's gonna fall over in a box. It's gonna fall over without a box. That's literally what I mean. So you just have to obviously drive slow. Don't take sharp corners.
Yeah, I used to have a sign on my car, cake on board, because people will honk at you and they flip you off. And like, if that's the way your cake, you wouldn't want me driving fast.
I just go. I've done that a few times.
Have you?
Yes. And sharp corners are really going to kill you. Yes, of course, do take that slow. The dowel in the middle is necessary. If you know your route, which is nice too. Like I take certain routes that I know have less bumps on the road as well, because I have seen going over a bump when you hit one and the cake does like literally bounce and try to correct itself, and that's terrifying.
Terrifying. You don't want to see it. Put the cake where you can't see it too.
If you're put it where you can't see it. Like it's in your mirror.
If you don't want to stress out while you're driving,
I look at it all the time. I don't look at the road. I'm looking at the cake. And as far as taking the cake assembled or not, that's your comfort level. So I do prefer, if it's 4 tiers or less, I take it assembled and I just put it on the table. She will fit or whatever. I mean, She-Hulk, that'd be the right term.
Sure.
And just pick it up and put it on the. But if you're not comfortable with that, or you want help or something, you figure out what. I just don't like assembling on site unless I have to. I don't like it to warm up at all, and I don't want to have to touch it.
Yeah, I get that.
Everybody does it different.
Yeah.
So
whatever you're comfortable with that.
Yep. And of course, if the tall cake doesn't fit in your car, it doesn't fit in your fridge, then you can't.
Yeah,
like that.
That's true.
So. And
about keeping it stable for whatever temp, I think that is chilling. Making sure it's chilled before you put it in your car, and make sure that your car, the air is on.
Yep.
Like I used to have a jacket that I would just wear in my car while I was delivering, because the cake was more important than me.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shannon, who used to help me deliver, and she now works here now too. She knew to wear a jacket or a sweater when she would help me with deliveries, because the car is going to be cold. I like that. Same thing.
Yeah, she says she has a sign that says cake aboard.
Yep. Yeah, like baby on board, but cake on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, and that little question I said that it ties into long nails and gloves. Yeah, we don't have nails.
No.
Not, that I don't know why people would decorate cakes with nails personally.
Well,
because
you don't
that's a
clean
case.
them as
Yeah,
well.
where gloves, I would feel better about that, because long nails gets crap underneath.
Well,
them.
if you get inspected by the health department
In Illinois specifically,
they want you can't have nail polish or fake nails either,
or rings
or watches.
Yeah, every state's different with that. But
So,
yeah, I agree with
clean,
that. Long
people.
Keep it clean. Long nails, and yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, over here.
Something about
Stencils. What is the mixture to use on stencils? It doesn't ruin when manipulating the sugar paste. I don't know. I don't really. I like to go with peanut butter consistency in general for stencils, and it depends on what I'm using. If I'm using buttercream, peanut butter consistency, and just make sure it's chilled before you move it. I just did a video this week where I did a stencil with gold, and I just used the shortening technique with the gold luster dust over, and that it doesn't matter. You just have to be careful where you're touching. If it's a wrap, like a fondant wrap, you just have to be careful where you're touching it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, there's no magic answer for that. Wafer paper flower techniques. That would be something I would consider for a class.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's not asking a specific question about the techniques, so I think she's asking.
Yeah, that's a lot to.
Yeah, that would do
Explain
flowers, basic wafer paper flowers for the class. That was one of the things I was thinking of. I think that. Let me look over and see if there's any, because we've already been here for an hour and a half. For my boss.
At which point in your business did you start employing people? Which system do you use to determine their salaries? And how do you determine fair pay? Oh, this is fun. I don't mind answering that.
Okay, it's up to you. I'm going to get a drink while you're answering that. So here she is.
You got me, people.
Lucky people.
I know. Okay. So I will start by saying every state is going to have a different cost of business. Illinois is notorious for having a high cost of business, it's expensive to have a business in Illinois. It's the taxes are more as well. We talked about the minimum wage. Next year, it's up to $15 an hour. The state next to us is $7-something an hour. So when I decided to hire someone, I was very upfront with them. Hey, my business is very new. You're going to be my first employee. I can pay you $1 over minimum wage. And she was part-time and she was fine with it. And so I tried to keep up, as I grow and as I add more people, trying to keep that mentality that yes, people want to be paid more than minimum wage. And it's really hard to do that sometimes though. So you have to figure out how you're going to make their weekly schedule that is manageable. I've never, thankfully have not had to tell somebody yet, hey, I just can't pay you this week. That's my worst nightmare.
You better not.
Well, no, but I mean, it's a reality. If you're struggling, there's plenty of places that do that. People just don't talk about it. But
no, you would talk to me beforehand.
I would try, do everything I possibly could to make sure people still get their paycheck. So fair pay is something that is manageable. If you think their time is worth $20 an hour, but you can't pay that and you're going to miss paychecks or you're going to tell them you can't pay them, then that's a problem. So after that first employee, of course, I added a couple more. And back when Mary started, was it 3 years ago? I wanted to keep her above minimum wage at least, but of course minimum wage keeps going up. So it's like to keep her on top of that, you have to figure out how to build that into your expenses. And we talk a lot about people canceling orders because they think that it's too expensive. And well, I'm sorry. I have people that are experienced, that are very talented, that need paid more than minimum wage. So yeah, I would love to also make more than $12 an hour.
Yeah, she needs to get
myself.
paid too.
So, which system do you determine their salaries? Well, that's built into your expenses. I think I talked about that. So if I know I can pay them this much per hour, I take this many orders per month or whatnot, or per week.
It's a very delicate balance.
It really is, yeah. And of course, I know, and if I have a decorator that leaves at some point, and I find somebody who can replace them, will they accept what I can pay? Maybe not. You know, what do you do?
Yeah.
I am at literally a micro business. I mean, this is the smallest business at its finest. I did not buy a franchise. You know, I started out, of course, by myself in my kitchen when Rosalind was a toddler, playing with all the bowls at my feet, which a lot of you are probably doing too.
Yeah, I did that too. It's very loud, gives you a headache.
Yeah, like just make sure that you don't hurt yourself with that, and we're good. Just time.
Not a knife? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm by default, I am not able to pay people, you know, $20 an hour. I would love to. So yeah.
And this next one kind of ties into that. So sweet and easy. I think that kind of covers your question too that you had asked.
Struggling enough to make the overhead. How many cakes do you have to produce to make profit? I'm assuming if you're retail that you have a staff. No, you are not alone.
Yeah.
Everyone that has retail right now is struggling. No matter what kind of business it is. Very cute.
Rosalind strikes again.
She doesn't understand the not interrupting part of this. It's okay.
It's okay.
We love her anyways.
I was just going to say that. She's part of the package.
Oh, yeah. She literally is a package deal. She'll be here all during spring break, too. So.
When I first met her, she gave me the side eye for days. She was what? 4?
She's
5?
5.
5? Yeah. Part of the deal. Okay. I think we covered that too. How to keep cakes holding their shape in hot weather. Refrigeration, honestly. Let's just say refrigeration doesn't mean your cake's going to dry.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of debate on simple syruping or not simple syruping. I've seen this on Instagram and TikTok and stuff a lot. Some shame, honestly, being put on people who are simple. Yeah, who are simple syruping. All that does is it adds moisture to your cake while you're working on it. Now, it doesn't mean your cake is dry. It means like for certain designs, it takes a few days to finish that design. You can't, if you have a storefront, let's say, and you do 8-inch cakes that you're stocking in the shelf and they're going to be bought that day or the next day, you don't need simple syrup. Fine. But when you're doing a wedding cake that's taking you 3 to 4 days to do, simple syrup is keeping that cake moist while you're working on it. And it also helps it in the refrigeration process. The other part of that is if your cake is covered in buttercream or buttercream and fondant or ganache, it's not going to dry out in the refrigerator. It's locked in. It's sealed.
It's not cut.
It's not cut. Yeah, it's fine. So I just had to say that.
Do yourself a favor and make it easier.
Just make your life easier. And not once have I ever heard that my cake is dry.
Never. No
have you ever heard that?
Cake is dry.
No.
Not even cupcakes.
No.
We don't simple syrup cupcakes though.
Oh, okay. Cake boxes. Somebody had asked where cake box supply.
Cake box company's best prices. I love BRP.
And that's local to us, really.
They are local to us, and they don't charge us. The shipping I think is free, and it comes in a couple days. They have, and I love that they're trying to work with trends. So they just started doing like a bento box, cake box that has a small cake with cupcakes fitting in it. Very cool. I would look them up. BRP
cake pots. They have
shop or cake. No
macaron boxes. They have all those. BRP cake. Just type in BRP. Box company. BRP box company.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. BRP. What do they do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
I think you're up here.
I'm trying. Are we gonna get to all of them? I mean, do you ever get in a rut Okay, this is one was more for me, kind of.
Mhm.
You too, but running a business, you spend most of your time running the business
You
and not
gotta
as
keep
much
it
time
open.
decorating. So I end
Mhm.
up doing. Is there a craft store that is more of a one-stop shop for decorating supplies?
I wish.
I like Hobby Lobby. I like all three of those. Joanne, not as much. Fabrics.
Yeah, they don't have a big variety. I would say Michael's is probably the best
Mm-hmm.
with the most variety.
Yeah.
But we don't have any small cake shops around here either, which would be great if we did. It's just like everything is there. We do have a hardware store that carries cake supplies though, which you may have. You could look into.
Yeah.
They have a lot of stuff that the bigger stores don't.
I want to answer her real quick
yeah.
because it looks like she might be leaving. And you've been here all morning. Thank you, sweet Mimi. Can you make ganache with chocolate chips? Yes.
Oh, that's all I use.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to buy the couture chocolate necessarily to make ganache. I wouldn't waste the money on that.
Well, you're not tempering it.
Yeah. You don't have to temper it, so it's fine.
You're still back at this one.
Do you ever get in a rut? And if so, how do you find new inspiration and motivation? Yes, I do get in a rut sometimes. I get a lot of my inspiration from other forms of art. Like I'll get on Pinterest and I'll look up textured paintings, pottery, dresses, and I get a lot of inspiration from those things. And I do get a lot of, I just looked outside in the glare from the car, the sun, I've got that thing in my eyes, so I can't stop seeing it.
Just look at me.
You got your own little bling bling. What was I saying?
Looking at other art forms.
Yeah, other artists too, cake artists. But I try not to. If I see another cake design that inspires me, I try to take the basic idea and change it up and make it mine. Mm-hmm. That's what I tag though, like inspired by so and so, or you know what I'm saying. So that's how I kind of get over that, or kind of change direction into like if I've been doing a lot of abstract modern, maybe go more for something softer, you know, like something pastel-y, butterflies, buttercream texture, that kind of stuff. So you'll kind of notice me go in trends. Like I'll do a couple of the same kind of theme, different designs, but like more, you know, same idea in different ways. Then I'll be like, okay, I've done that. Now I'm going to do this. I try to interject different techniques. Like I have a backstock of footage, and I'll try to not do too many of the same thing close together. But that doesn't mean I'm not filming them one day after the other.
Yep, she's in here working her tushy off.
I do. Thank you for watching. You guys keep me going. If it wasn't for you guys, I would have given that up a long time ago. So thank you. What made you start doing YouTube videos, and how long did you editing videos? Honestly, I deleted a lot of videos because I started a few years ago out of my house. So that was a while ago. I did a few videos, and then I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have the editing apps. I didn't have the right cameras, none of that. So I kind of fizzled out. Plus I was self-employed at that time, and, you know, wedding season comes along. And if you're doing everything from start to finish, and the baking, the stacking, the crumb coating, the tastings, all the emailing and all that, there's no other time. So I kind of dropped off, and then I tried to start again. And then when I moved it out of the house, well, maybe I'm going to have more time to do it now. And then that stopped because there were other people there. They didn't know what I was doing. It was embarrassing. Anyway. And then when I came here, and she honestly talked me into doing it again. I think I kind of mentioned it.
Don't give up.
Yeah. And she's encouraged me a lot to keep going. And then I have this space here now, which is wonderful. And yeah, so editing, I use, what do I use? On my computer, it's Wondershare. Filmora is the platform I use on my laptop. I was doing it from my phone, and it was Video Editor. I think I used on my phone. But when I got my new camera, it's 4K, and it takes up way more space, and my phone couldn't handle all of the separate, because there's hours of footage. So I moved to my laptop, and I use Wondershare, Filmora. I just kind of learned as I went. Like my old videos are pretty not good, but
everybody starts somewhere, y'all.
Yeah. So I find different techniques on the editing apps as you go, and I try to edit out as much of the extra as I can just because you don't want to watch a 5-hour video. Trust me. Okay. Okay, there.
Oh, I love this question.
Yeah, Tatiana, I think that's how you say that.
Mm-hmm.
On Instagram, asked, how do you print on acetate to transfer to fondant? Can you also transfer to buttercream? I wouldn't transfer it to buttercream.
It'd be tricky.
Yeah, because you got texture on buttercream. And when you're transferring the image onto the acetate sheet, it already diffuses the intensity of the image already. If you try to transfer it onto buttercream, the buttercream would have to be chilled. Pretty much, I think.
Maybe
I've
we
never
should try
tried.
it.
New video? I don't know if I want to give myself that much of a challenge. I probably wouldn't do it on buttercream, but all you do on it for your fondant is use an edible printer and edible ink. You don't have to buy a big fancy edible printer. If you can find one that has cartridges of edible ink that are compatible with it, and
just regular printer.
Yeah, just a regular printer. As long as you're only using it for edible ink
Mm-hmm.
and edible images, you're fine. Don't put your regular ink cartridges in it and then print something else out, because then that's kind of contaminating the inner workings. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you just take piece of acetate the size of paper, or even on your edible sheets. What do you call them? Frosting sheets?
Yeah, the backing.
Yeah, the backing.
acetate.
That works great too. And it's a thinner acetate. Run it through your printer, print your image, and just immediately put it down on your freshly rolled out fondant. Press it down, make sure you get it all in there, and just pull it off. And there it is. And it dries really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But you also, somebody did ask me too, you can't order an edible image from a grocery store. Go get it, on a piece of acetate. Bring it back home or to your bakery and then put it on. No, you have to print it and then do it, because it's going to dry. It's a really cool technique, though. I really like that one. That wasn't mine. I tagged on the video who I got that from. I can't remember now, but there is. Yeah, that wasn't my idea, but I thought I have to do that. That's brilliant. Super shiny gold. I don't know if we want to tackle this, because everybody has different opinions on what is edible and what's not.
What brand do you use for gold leaf? They have a dust as well.
I use Truly Mad Plastics. I like their gold dust, or what's it called? Luster dust.
Powder.
I like Barnabas Gold for the gold leaf, and that is edible, 100% edible. Here's the thing. The luster dust, they're not edible, but they're not toxic. What happens is your body will not ingest, it won't absorb the gold. It'll just pass right through you. So a lot of people have a very strong opinion on that you use it only on things that are not going to be eaten for decoration purposes. But other people go ahead and use it. It's such a small amount. It's not going to hurt you. You're not eating the whole container. So that's my personal opinion. Your body's not going to absorb it. You're just going to, it's going to come right back out. That could be opening me up for criticism, for my opinion. That's just my opinion. If you want a super shiny gold, it's probably not going to be 100% edible.
When it comes down to it, if you need it to be shiny, you have to get something that may not be edible. If you aren't comfortable with that,
actual metal in it.
Yeah, if you're uncomfortable with that, then you're going to have to forego the design of it.
You're going to have to go for more a yellow gold that's going to be more dull.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
They're coming up with more and more products that are better quality, because the gold trend has been around forever.
Sweet Mimi is laughing at us.
Oh, are you saying that telling it exact same as glitter? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that, Sweet Mimi. I like you. You've been very good to us today. Okay. Oh, this might be important. They're all important. That one, I think we already covered that.
Yeah, we just do. We got one more.
Fiona Kusi, whatever. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I got your question if you're here, but or you see this later, but I think we kind of just covered that with somebody else's question.
She said, I struggle with coming up with my own designs and finding myself imitating someone else. But she talked about that.
Yeah, I think there's not much more to say about that. I think last question, because we've been here for a while. I think we've Oh, wait a minute. Trends for weddings. Do you want to?
Sure. Well, yeah, you start with that one.
Okay. Okay. How do you decide on the decor with customers, especially? Okay, this is the same thing. Kind of the same question. Excuse me. Especially for wedding cakes, do you ask them for inspiration photos? I did.
Mhm.
I used to tell them, if you have any inspiration photos, bring them in and we'll talk about them. And then that way you can kind of get an idea of what direction they're heading, what they're liking.
Yeah.
That was one of the first questions I would ask is, what is your vision for your wedding cake?
Mhm.
What are you liking? Do you have pictures? Go ahead and bring them out and we'll talk about what you're
Mhm.
liking and if that will fit with how many tiers you want and kind of all that. You do the same, don't you? Kind of?
Yes. You need to know their vibe, right?
Mhm.
So by the time they come to you, they've got a lot of stuff planned already. Usually, they already
Yeah,
know what
we're
their
one of the
colors
last
are.
ones.
They probably have flowers figured out, all that good stuff.
Thank you.
So I just start by saying, do you have any photo ideas you want to share? You know, we can talk about what you like from that. So we're not doing the exact same thing.
Mhm.
But I will say, if they want, the sketch thing,
Uh-huh.
if they want you to do a sketch and you're going to take some good time on that, some people say, don't do that till they book with you. And I think I learned the hard way on that a few times. If I'm making something that is totally unique to them, I'm doing a sketch, I'm designing it for them, they can clearly or easily take that sketch to somebody else and say, this is what I want. And they try to get it cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever do look up Minette Rushing on Instagram or on Facebook, when she does her business course type tutorials, she'll tell you that too.
That makes sense because
Mhm.
most of them are shopping, unless
Yeah.
they know specifically they want us. That does
Mhm.
happen too.
Mhm.
A lot of them are shopping, so they like your design, but they think they can get it cheaper somewhere else. I'm sorry, they're not going to get the same thing.
It's not the same quality, but that's cool. I mean, don't take your sketch though. They can't.
Yeah.
They should not do that. I mean, that's another reason why a contract is nice. So unless they've signed one, they don't get all the rights to all those photos and sketches and stuff.
Yeah, because that's part of your creativity and your
Yeah.
art. Why would you just give it away?
Yeah.
For someone else.
I know
So,
it's hard. Art doesn't always mix with business so well, but people will tell you that they're in business for it. Don't give them your art without payment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've kind of covered all the questions, haven't we? Or was there one more?
There was
Trends for weddings?
trends for wedding cakes these days.
Oh boy.
There's
There's a difference between what we want to do and what people ask us to do sometimes. There's a lot of we're still where we are, we're still in the horizontal texture buttercream train, aren't we? Or are they starting? You've been doing some tastings. Is that starting to change?
People are still asking for semi-naked cakes, horizontal texture. They're afraid to do something different or more unique because of their decor being more rustic or more simple.
Yeah, we're in the Midwest. So.
Yeah. So it does take a while actually for trends to catch on around here, but people are getting the vintage cakes again. They're not doing like the pillars and the fountains and all that kind of stuff, but they do want the vintage piping.
I have one coming up, that 3-tier wedding piped vintage one from a while ago. It was off-white.
On a video.
Yeah, I haven't edited that yet because that doesn't always tend to go over so well on my channel, but I do have footage on one of those. So yeah, so those are happening.
We're still seeing separators. We want to use unique separators, pressed flowers, which are, again, not always edible. Just peel them off.
Just don't eat it.
I get the question all the time, where can I find edible organic flowers? Jeez, nowhere. You're going to grow your own? I don't know.
Because they're going to be pesticides.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Or it's like going to crumble to pieces and you don't really want to eat dried, crunchy.
And if you're using dried flowers that are pressed, you can always coat the back with like cocoa butter, melted cocoa butter to protect the cake from the flowers. So there are steps you can take.
Yeah, but you're still going to take it off.
You're still going to take it off. Yep.
Other trends are dessert tables, believe it or not.
Oh,
that's another thing. And people they're shying away from the big pretty cake because they think they don't want to pay for it or they don't want someone to have to cut it. And so they're getting a 1 or 2 tier cake and then getting cupcakes or other desserts. And that's again where a contract is helpful because they're not going to want to order it if they think it's too expensive. But you have to stay open.
Yep.
So yeah.
And our price for cupcakes is typically less a little bit than what people, because I won't say names. We have businesses locally that, how do we put it? There are franchises.
Yes.
And people assume they're cheaper,
less.
but they're not necessarily cheaper.
They have, they may even have a very similar product and it may be the same price or slightly less expensive. But
I can just speak from when I was doing it, and people would get like sheet cakes from, we have a local grocery store called Hy-Vee, and my son works there, and my other son just had his interview yesterday.
Good job, Andrew.
He's going to kill me if he sees this. They have a bakery, and a lot of people think that their sheet cakes are cheaper. Like they used to ask me to do the pretty cake for cutting, and then they'd want to do a sheet cake from Hy-Vee. My prices at the time were a little less than Hy-Vee, just coincidentally. I hadn't even priced it out. It was an afterthought. Oh, I should probably see what they are charging just to compare. And they were a little more than me.
Yep.
And it's grocery store cake, It's
you know what happens when you assume.
Yes, vegan cakes.
Vegan. What about vegan?
Yeah,
cakes?
honey. What about vegan cakes?
Oh, the trends.
Oh, yeah,
vegan cakes are a trend. Yeah, yep. Which. I'm actually surprised people did not ask allergen questions.
No, not one.
Because that is a hot topic too, especially with the gluten-free situation. And, most bakeries are not solely gluten-free. And how do you tackle that? I just tell people straight up, we make the same things in the same kitchen. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, because we don't have enough space to have a dedicated kitchen.
Yeah, if you're not, then you need to try this bakery that has only gluten-free. I will gladly recommend people to other places. There are so many local, small-owned, even women-owned businesses. I'm like, yep, go use them.
Yeah, we do like to support other businesses. Yep. Is a trend. Yep. And we have some really good gluten-free and vegan recipes. In fact, my favorite is the chocolate. That's vegan, right? Or is that gluten-free?
Gluten-free chocolate. But most people can't tell what it is.
And the buttercream?
Oh, the vegan buttercream.
I like the vegan buttercream. I don't know why.
That took me a while to figure out. Actually, I mean, if we can end this, but I can also tell people a quick tip too. The vegan buttercream, if you want to decorate with it like regular buttercream, don't use just dairy-free butter. It has too much water in it. You need to use a shortening. I use a palm shortening, and palm oil is not good for you, whatever, but cake's not healthy either. So that
don't eat it every day.
Palm shortening with the equal amount of the dairy-free butter gets the perfect texture. You decorate it just like you would a regular buttercream cake.
And it's delicious.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does have a slightly more kind of grainy, texture to it, because I think it has to, and I like that personally. I like that. But so I think we're going to wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope we answered your questions. And I am reading all your comments. If I didn't respond back to you, I have, or I will see all your comments. And just so you guys know too, that I do try to answer all your questions, like when you comment on videos and stuff. But if I don't get back to you, there's a lot. I'm one person. So I try really hard to do that. And
Liza says, thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for your time. And I think I'd asked for if you guys have ideas for classes, if that's something that you would be interested in doing. I'd kind of like to get an idea how many people. I have that question asked a lot. So we'll go from there. Hello, from Alabama. Who eats all the cakes you make? Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Wow. Everybody's responding right now.
Leaving. So hi.
Yeah. Who eats the cakes? Dr. Gee. I think I've seen you before on here. The ones I do for my videos are Franken cakes. I think that's what they call them. Yeah. They're like fresh the first time I decorate them, when you see me fill them and all that. But after that, I just kind of strip them and then reuse them because nobody's eating them. So there's no point. It's basically, my channel is for decorating, basically. So you don't need to see me fill the cakes every time, and it saves me money. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's
And
that.
it's not styrofoam, so it still is a real cake.
Sometimes
So.
styrofoam though, like the cake dummies that I just posted one not too long ago for the bridal thing.
Oh yeah.
And I have that other
That
one to
has
post
to be
too.
fake because
Yeah.
no one's gonna eat it anyways.
But there's decorating techniques that I think you guys will find interesting. So
Mhm.
every once in a while I'll use a foam one, but yeah. So that's that. You got anything else?
I just want to say thanks for supporting my baby over here. Isn't she so pretty?
Oh God.
No, but also just please charge what you need.
What's your word?
Yeah, you need to value what you do, and if no one else is going to value it, at least you do. Even if you're in your home, don't slash the prices. You still have overhead. You're still taking up your personal space, your family space. Don't gouge it. Don't try to be the cheapest because you're trying to attract anyone.
Yeah, and that affects everybody in the business. When when you have, people that are way undercharging.
Mary, did you say Franken-cake?
I did. You can't quote me on it. I heard it from someone else, but yeah, we all need to get on the same page of charging a reasonable amount that makes more sense than just trying to take orders just because you really like to do it. If you're going to do it to make some money. Because if we're all closer in price range, I know you can't be because different regions and different parts of the world and all that. Then people won't think that we're overcharging because we're not. We're just trying to survive. We're just trying to stay open and have a little money. You don't argue with your doctors about their prices, So anyway, get me off my soapbox.
We're not making bank off of this. We do it because we
love it. And we just did it again. We just said the same thing.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, thanks for coming and checking us out, guys. Let us know if you want us to do this again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
More questions.
Maybe. And I will. Oh, there won't be another upload today. You're right.
There is enough cake out there for everyone. You can't do them all. Absolutely.
Right. There's plenty of other people. What was I gonna say? Oh, there's no other upload today. And this is my normal upload day. I didn't have time, and this kind of is that.
I wonder why.
I don't know. Okay, so
thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time, maybe. We'll see. Bye. Let's see if I can get out of here. End stream.
Oh, it's a touch screen.
Not yet. Oh.